everybody, it's Saskia here from Little Bunny Bakers. Welcome to Let's Bake Star and Moon Cheese Scones. It's lovely to have you here. Now this week I'm very excited to be celebrating National Space Day coming up this Friday, the 1st of May, by making Star and Moon Cheese Scones. And I've got to say, they're really out of this world. Space is amazing. I don't know about you, but I am absolutely fascinated by space. It is so big and there is so much to learn. Take stars, for example. We think in the Milky Way, our galaxy, where the Earth is, that there are between 300 billion and a trillion different stars. So when we look out at the night sky, we might see a few stars twinkling at us, but there are so many, it's incredible. So I'm very excited to be having a star spacey theme this week. And you might have seen my other video, which is my magic box activity to show you how to make star spinners. So here is the one I made earlier, and it hangs like this and bounces up and down. And if you'd like to learn how to make a star spinner, then just watch my other video and you can learn and you can make one too. So let's start with our Bunny Bakers song. Are you ready? Good. Welcome to Little Bunny Bakers. It's nice to see you here today. We're going to have a lot of fun baking. So come on, let's bake. Hooray! Okay, so for this recipe you will need 225 grams of self-raising flour and then a little bit in a pot for sprinkling later. You will need 55 grams of soft butter or margarine. You will need 60 grams of hard cheese like cheddar cheese. You will need 75 milliliters of milk, 1 egg, and then half a teaspoon of some English mustard if you have it in. If you don't have it in, don't worry, but I think it gives it an extra special edge. Okay everybody, so at this point you need to ask a grown-up to turn the oven on to 180 degrees please, so it can warm up ready for our baking. And then we're going to start with our flour in a big bowl. And what we're going to do is, using our fingers or our little twinkling stars, we're going to pinch the butter and pop it into the bowl. Pinch and pop. Pinch and pop. And we're going to get all of that lovely butter or margarine into the bowl. Mine's gone pretty soft waiting in the bowl, so I'm just going to make sure I get all of that lovely buttery goodness out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bury it like we're hiding treasure. So we're going to hide it in the flour so we can't see it anymore. Have you done that? Well done. Okay, so what we want to do now, using 2 hands, is we're going to put our hands in and find a lump of treasure or a moon rock. We're going to find a moon rock and we're going to pinch and pull and drop it back in. So you're going to hunt for those moon rocks. Some might be bigger than others, and you're going to break them in half and drop them back in. So pinch and pull. There we go. I wonder if any of you are learning a little bit about space this week. Lots of excitement, maybe next week. There's so many interesting things you can do, things you can learn. A while back I was working in a school in Hessel, and we did a project about the solar system which was really interesting. And every lesson we did a different planet. Very interesting. The projects that came out of it were wonderful. They made little booklets. There we go. So I'm still going. I'm breaking all of those moon rocks into small little lumps. And when you think you've got most of the big lumps, what we're going to do is we're going to hold our hands as if we're getting a present. So you hold your hands up and you say, thank you. Can you do that? Thank you. Very good. So then we're going to put our present hands into the bowl, pick up a little bit of the mix, and with our thumbs, we're going to rub it back in. So we're not squeezing it, that would squish it together. We're just gently lifting and pushing it back in with our thumbs. This is called rubbing the mix or making breadcrumbs. So we pick it up and rub it back in. You might want to turn your bowl every couple of times you do it so it all gets mixed in nice and evenly. I do like savoury scones. Have you tried them before? If you haven't, you're in for a treat. I like sweet scones too, but savoury scones are something really different. We like having them when we have soup, and we have lots of soup at the Borough. We really like soup. So we've got tomato soup and cheese star scones on the menu today. There we go. So we're going to keep going until there are no lumps left in our mixture. And you'll notice that it started to turn an almost yellow colour. That's a good sign. That's what we want. So when all the lumps have gone and it's sort of yellowy in colour, you know that you're done. There we are. So we're going to dust off our hands over the bowl. Give them a little twinkle. Uh-oh, I feel a song coming on. Let's use our twinkling hands. Ready? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Very nice. Did you sing along? Okay, so we've got our mix of butter and flour, and what we want to do next is get our cheese ready, if you haven't done this already. So I'm going to use my rotating grater, my rotary grater, and I'm just going to put my cheese, I might do half at a time, in the top, push on the top and grate it down. I do love these graters. I think they grate so quickly. They're great. These graters are great. There we go. All the way down. They also grate vegetables as well, and fruit. Very good. We had some apple in our porridge this morning, actually. Apple and coconut. Mixing it up. Right, so I've got my grated cheese, and what I'd like you to do is put in half of your cheese. So just have a look. Just over half. Just over half. So you've got just under half left. And then just gently mix that in with your hands. So it's all blended in together. Oh, lovely. And then what I'd like you to do is to make a little hole in the middle of the bowl. So you can see the very bottom of it. It's called a well. So make a hole in the bottom of the bowl. That's rhymes. We've got poetry going on at Bunny Baker's today. Okay, so next of all, you need a set of scales and an egg and a cup or a bowl. Because what we're going to do is we want to measure out half of the egg to go into our scones, and the other half we're going to be using at the end to brush the top. So we're going to hold our egg nice and snug in our hands. We're going to tap it to crack it, then turn it over and use our thumbs to open it like a book. Are you ready? Here we go. Tap it to crack it. Did you hear that? Turn it over and pour it in, and then just pop that on the side and quickly go and wash your hands, or give them a wipe down with a wipe. There we go. And so now I have my egg in my glass, and I'm just going to give it a little mix so it's all blended together. Does anybody know where eggs come from? That's right, they come from chickens. Shall we sing the chicken song? I think we better had. Here we go. Chick, 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 chicken, lay a little egg for me. Chick, 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 chicken, I'd like one for my tea, because I haven't had an egg since breakfast, and now it's 3:30. So chick, 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 chicken, Lay a little egg for me. Well done, everybody. Okay, so I've got my milk in another cup. I've got my 75 millilitres of milk, and I just want to measure 30 millilitres of my egg into my milk. So I'm going to very slowly, making sure my scales are on 0, pour in half of my egg. You can always add more, but it's a lot more difficult to take it away. There we go. So I've got half my egg, and I'm also going to add half a teaspoon of my mustard. You don't taste the mustard in the scones, but it really adds to the flavour. There we go. And then I'm just going to give that egg, mustard and milk mix, a little mix so it's all combined. There we go. And then I'll get rid of that and I'll get my mixture again. And I'm going to use a fork to mix it in. I find a fork is a good way to get it all in, and it doesn't stick to a wooden spoon so much. So, do you remember we had the hole in the middle of our floury mix? Well, we're going to pour the egg, milk and mustard into that hole. Here we go. Oh, look at that. It does look like a moon crater, like a hole in a bit of moon rock you might find. Amazing. And then what we're going to do with our fork, or a spoon if you like, you're just going to do little circles, round and round, and slowly mix in the floury mix on the side. So getting bigger and bigger. Make sure you hold your bowl when you mix so it doesn't go flying. Birds and aeroplanes fly, but bowls should not. There we go. So I'm getting bigger and bigger, and it's going to get harder and harder to mix as it all blends together. Oh, that's looking lovely. Get it all in. And when you can't really mix it anymore, just scrape off your fork, and then you're going to get in there with your hands. But before you do, hold your horses. I just want you to put a little bit of flour on your hands so it doesn't stick. So dust your hands and then get in there and bring the ball together. Oh, look at that lovely lump of scone dough. There we go. So I'll just give it a little squeeze and bring it together. So we've got all of that lovely dough ready for shaping. There we go. So push that together. Just make sure it's all in like a giant lump of Play-Doh here. There we go. There we are. Now, you need to get a tray ready. Any size will do. And if you have any star cutters, that's brilliant. If you don't, I will show you what you can do. So don't worry, if you don't have any star cutters, it's fine. There we go. So we've got our lump of dough. Just clear a little space, and then you just want to sprinkle a little bit of flour on the side and place your dough on top. Now, you can either squish it down with your paws, or if you'd like to, you can use a rolling pin. Either way is fine. So I'm going to use a rolling pin and just gently roll it down. We want it about the height of a grown-up's finger. That's a funny measurement, isn't it? So about 2 centimetres high. So I'm just going to test with my fingers. You want to try and make sure it's the same height the whole way round. If it's a bit thicker at one bit, just push it together a little bit. There. So I'm happy with that. So what we're going to do next is you're going to get your star cutter. Obviously, if you have a bigger cutter and a smaller cutter, you will get different amounts. So if you have a big cutter, you might get maybe 3 stars and a moon, whereas a smaller star, you'll get a few more. So I'm going to do a mix of different size stars. So starting at the edge, push, wiggle, and pick it up, and gently tap it out. Oh, look at that. And you have a lovely little star scone. just pop that on the tray. So I'll do a couple of that size. Don't worry about the moon just yet, that comes in a minute. So 2 of that size. Now, if you don't have a cutter, that's absolutely fine. What you would do is take a lump of the dough and squeeze it into a ball, and then flatten it a little bit so it's like a disc, and then just use your fingers to pinch in to make your star shape. So most stars that we see have about 5 points on them when we see them on Earth. That's how we represent stars, so 5 pointy shapes. So that's how you make it if you don't have a cutter. So you just pinch, make sure the edges are a bit pointy, like that. There we go. Perfect. Now, when you're happy that you've got all the stars you can, and you have a little bit of pastry left over, a little bit of scone mix, then again you can squeeze it together and roll it into a little bit of a sausage, either in your hands or on the side, and then just gently curve it round so we get this lovely little moon shape. Oh, look at that. Very jolly moon shape there. There we go. Now, the next thing we need to do you remember that egg mix that we had from earlier that we used half of? Well, now we're going to need that and our cheese. So you're going to dip your finger in the egg, or a pastry brush if you have one to hand, and just gently paint the top of your stars and moon with the egg mix, like so. There we go. And then onto that mix, that leftover cheese we had, you're going to take a little pinch and pop it on top of each one and press it down. So a little pinch on each one and press it down. I can tell already these are going to be absolutely delicious when they're cooked. So we've already asked an adult to put the oven on at 180 degrees. So at this point, if you ask an adult to help you pop it into the oven, it needs to cook for between 12 and 15 minutes, depending on your oven. So just keep an eye on them and ask your grown-up to keep an eye on them. And when they're nice and golden, they can come out, pop them on a cooling rack, and then they're ready. Make sure they're cool enough to eat before you start nibbling. So well done everybody, you've done a brilliant job at making star and moon scones. And I really do hope you'll watch my other video and make one of the star spinners as well to go with it this week. It's been lovely having you along. I really enjoy doing these little videos and I really can't wait until everything starts again and you can be here at the Borough in person doing baking with me. So for now, let's finish with my song. Here we go. Little bunny bakers, we've had some fun, we've baked a lot, now it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye everybody, happy baking!